Who's got the barking dog?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Is that yours, Felice?
That is mine. The problem being co-chair is I can't put myself on mute.
What kind of dog is he?
A cockapoo.
Oh, he's got a very loud bark.
That he does. He's heard someone in the hallway.
Hi, Irma. I know you can't talk, but it's nice to see you, Irma. It's been a while. Hello? Yes, hi. I'm just starting my parks meeting. Can you give me a
Felice, should I go ahead and give the talking points, or would you like to give it another couple of minutes for more folks to join?
I think Judy is done and ready, so let's kick it off, and you can give the talking points. And welcome to the Parks and Waterfront Committee. I'm Felice Farber. I'm co-chair of the committee. We're holding the meeting tonight jointly with the 197A committee, and my co-chair is
Judy Schneider. Good evening, everybody.
Will, do you want to?
Yeah. All right. Well, welcome everyone. If this is your first time joining us, or the first time in a long time, you'll notice that you're muted, and you're going to stay muted throughout the duration of the meeting, except for whenever either of our co-chairs, Felice or Judy, call on you. The only people who will be unmuted really will be the presenters and the co-chairs. Following each presentation, as we move through the agenda, the co-chairs will call on members of the public who wish to speak. You can participate by going to the reactions icon and pressing the raise hand button. It's not the wave or the thumbs up, those will disappear. Only press the raise hand button once. If you press it a second time, your hand will go back down. If you're calling in from the phone, it's *9 to raise your hand and *6 to unmute. Be on the lookout for a prompt asking you to confirm unmuting once one of the co-chairs calls on you. If you're having problems, the chat is available for technical support only to help with the Zoom software. It is not to ask questions or make comments to the co-chairs or presenters. They will never see those chats. If you're using an older version of Zoom, you'll need to go to the participants section where you'll find the raise hand feature there. And finally, we encourage you not to raise your actual hand or wave at the screen because we may miss you and not be able to see you. So if you're having problems, chat me. I'm here for support. I'll hand it back over to Judy and Felice.
Thank you, Will. Go ahead, Judy.
Okay, just hold on a moment. My computer decided to. Okay, now I've got everybody. Good evening, everybody. Before we start the agenda, Sheena Kaufman, our wonderful parks person, has an announcement that she'd like to make. Sheena?
We can't hear you.
Sheena, now we can hear you. No, now you're gone. No.
Can't hear you.
Sheena, try logging out and logging back in with that same link. Or check and see if you have headphones plugged in, or maybe, Bluetooth headphones. Police, Judy, heard any good jokes lately?
Haven't heard any jokes, good or bad. Well, I guess she's trying to log in again because she seems to be gone.
She has left. I'll let you know when she's back.
Okay, should we move on to the presentation? And then when Sheena gets back, if you don't mind, we'll interrupt you just for a brief announcement from Sheena.
Okay, Evie, are you making the presentation?
We have a great team
Hi.
from EDC here. You're all unmuted now.
Okay.
Who?
Hi, Judy. I will be sharing my screen. My name is Ankita Nalavde.
Okay, Ankita, we're happy to have you give us the presentation on the East Midtown Greenway and Andrew Haswell Green Phase 2B. So please start.
Thank you. I would like to confirm if you can share, see my screen. Okay. Good evening, everyone. I am Ankita Nalavde from EDC, and I'm here to provide a quick update on East Midtown Greenway and Andrew Haswell Green Phase 2B. This project is part of the larger Manhattan Waterfront Greenway plan, and it starts from 53rd Street to 62nd Street, as you can see on the map, if you can see my cursor. This is the rendering of how the Midtown Greenway as well as the Andrew Haswell Green will look like. Now you can see in the plan that this it starts in the north with the ramp on 60th Street that leads to Andrew Haswell Green 2B. Then it connects from under the pavilion structure and goes south and connects to the new pedestrian bridge on the 54th Street and then ends in Sutton Place Park. This is the rendering of Andrew Haswell Green 2B, and it is approximately 1 acre new passive recreation park, and it will have landscaping, railing, lightings, and pavements and seating. As you can see, we have done revisions to match the furniture with East Midtown Greenway and also added accessible walkway. These are some more renderings of the same part at from the eye level. And last week on Friday, we had signage unveiling for Andrew Haswell Greenway, and CB6, CB8, along with Parks and EDC were present at the event. These are some of the construction progress images. You can see this is where we are installing deck planks for Andrew Haswell Green. Then these pictures show the top left one shows soil and silver cells. Then we also did concrete pour in the bike path, installed west side railings, and also did formwork for the ramp. The construction is also in progress in heliport structure, where we demoed the east curtain wall and also the south curtain wall. And you can see in this rendering how this place it opens up the transitions area between Andrew Haswell Green and East Midtown Greenway. So a quick schedule update is East Midtown Greenway, we are doing topside construction, and this fall we are going to start planting. So you will see that coming up. On 54th Pedestrian Bridge, we are starting with fence and railing fabrication. On 60th Street ramp, there we completed critical repairs. And for Andrew Haswell Green, we are doing the platform construction is ongoing, and it will continue until fall of 2023. And both projects, Greenway as well as Andrew Haswell Green 2B, will complete and are scheduled to open in December 2023. So this is end of the presentations. Please let us know if you have any questions or comments.
Hi, Ankita. I just had a quick question. It was a message from Will. Is there any way to expand the screen so that the images are larger?
Sure. I can try that.
Also, will you please send Will this presentation when you're, complete, if you haven't already?
Sure. Is this better?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's a little better.
So just out of curiosity, is it planting in the fall so that it'll be ready to bloom in the spring? Is that the concept?
So after planting, we have 1 year of guarantee period. Yeah, and that will also help the plants to, we see how the plants are established, plants and trees are established.
But you're going to finish the Greenway before you finish Andrew Haswell Green. So the planting, the contract for the plants, that starts when? From December 23 that they guarantee the life of the plants, or from when they put them in?
From when they put them in. You're talking about East Midtown Greenway, right?
Right.
Sorry.
Oh, you
I can jump in and answer that. It would be at the completion of the project, and that's when the warranty and guarantee period would start.
Oh, okay, that's good. Okay. It's good because it gives them a chance to take hold. I have a question about the picture you showed on the south side of the pavilion. You showed both sides opening. On the south side, there was a sketch or a picture.
Oh, this one?
Yeah. I thought the opening that's closest to the land, that opening was going to be closed, that there was only going to be one opening near the water. Is that going to remain open, both of those openings? Because the bicycle path goes through the one on the right, the one closest to the water, the bicycle and pedestrian path, does it not?
Yeah, Ankita, if you want, I can jump in on this one.
Yeah, sure.
So on the view that we're looking at the southern side of the heliport structure, both openings will remain as you see in this rendering. The one on the left, closer to the land, will be gated off, and that will be part, potentially a Parks M&O area. But the northern side of the heliport structure, the opening closer to the land will be closed, and that's where soil will be kind of bermed up against it to create the grading of the lawn and the plantings.
Okay, if you have a sketch or something more detail, maybe you could send us on that, because it was my understanding from the beginning that that portion of the heliport was going to be closed off. But if it's going to be open, that's fine. I'd just like to know how it's handled. Obviously, people can't go in there because the rest of that portion will not be finished.
Sure. Ankita, do you mind going to slide 20 in the appendix?
Yeah, sure.
And if you'd like to talk through the plan, or if you want, I can.
Yeah, sure. You can go ahead. I'll just zoom into the area where.
Okay. So here you can see the section, the white section is that half that's closer to the land side. And you can see the black dashed line is the new steel picket fence that will be closing that off in terms of pedestrian or public access. But on the northern side of the heliport structure, where you can see all of the green, that's the Andrew Heswell green, the tiered plantings that are bermed up against the side of the heliport.
Right. Okay, so the fence on the south side, that's going to be a high enough fence so people won't get access through into that open space?
Correct. It's an 8-foot height fence. It's a park standard detail steel picket fence.
And you said it was for parks for the M&L area. What does that stand for?
Oh, I'm sorry, maintenance and operations.
Oh, M&L. Okay.
That's what they're using it for now until we hopefully get in the money to redo that whole area is phase 3. And hopefully you'll be working on that. We'll be able to raise the funds. I do have a couple of questions that we discussed on Friday, and hopefully you, or I see Catherine is here, can answer them. One is that sketch that's up now shows the little openings along the waterfront in front of the white area. And we asked if we could have benches put in there. And the question was, how many benches and what would the cost be if we had to raise funds to do that?
Sure. So for that, we have a rough estimate. We are still working on that, but for rough estimate, we can have 10 to 11 benches in that area. And if we want to match with the benches on that are planned for the remaining part of the plan, it's 1964 World Fair benches, and they cost up to 3,000 per bench. And there will be added expenses for transportation and even installing those benches.
So you would say it would be around $4,000 a bench?
Yeah, I guess
Or
so.
5,000 a bench?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think 4,000 would be a good conservative number.
5?
4.
I had that 4.
4. Okay, because I think that's a really nice area to sit, and that might be something that we want to talk to our electeds to see if we could get the money to put maybe 10 benches in there. Also, I wanted to ask, along the Greenway and coming up into Andrew Haswell Green, that whole stretch, what is the story with water? Is there drinking fountains? Are there bathrooms? What water services do we have? If any.
I know we don't have bathrooms, but I'm not sure. Evie, do we have water fountains?
Yes, we do have water fountains. They're located at I guess, Ankita, is there a slide that shows the overall plan of East Midtown Greenway?
No, let me check.
Oh, maybe, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
The one that is early on, and it shows the different zones that are labeled. Yeah. Okay, I guess that's very little. But if you wouldn't mind maybe zooming into right between like the orange and the blue shapes, the bluff and the
Right.
or sorry, a little to the south. Yeah, so I just wanted to explain. So East Midtown Greenway, there's the pedestrian path, which is on the water side, and then there's the bicycle path, which is on the land side. Those are sometimes at different elevations, whereby the bike path is typically elevated. There are certain points where the two paths are at the same level, at the same grade. And that's why I had asked Ankita to zoom in on this orange area where you can see the the gray pixelated colors that's representing the hex pavers, those actually cross over. And that's what we call the merge points. And it's typically at those merge points where we have the amenities like trash cans and water fountains. So I believe there are maybe 2 of those located along the stretch of East Midtown Greenway.
Okay, and nothing in Andrew Haswell Green.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're asking.
Oh, I'm asking there, and I'm also asking about at AHG.
Right, AHG. Well, we know there are no restrooms. I believe there is a water fountain.
Yeah, now you were supposed to be supplying water for the fountain. You were gonna take care of that problem for the fountain up above at the pavilion to work. The water fountain, and the water was coming from down below. So I'm wondering, are we gonna have a water fountain somewhere inside or outside in that area? If you're providing water above.
Yep, I'm sorry, I can't think of exactly where in the plan the water fountain is located in Andrew Haswell Green. I don't know if anyone else on the team or from Parks can chime in. I'm trying to pull up the drawing separately.
Hi, Evie, this is Kusli speaking. Hi, Judy.
Hi,
So, on the terrace under the roundabout, there is one drinking fountain that has low pressure, and then also the ones in front of the dock run also has low pressure. The one to the north of the dock run, I checked, and that's running well. I believe there's between Skanska and our maintenance operation is working on that. They were working well right around the time that the ground hydrant were installed and the grass were installed. But there is some issue with piping later on that make the pressure that make them lose the pressure. And Sheena may have update on how the repair is going, or Mark.
Well, there's a temporary repair. The main feed pipe going up to the top had to be removed for some of the construction reasons, and so we have basically a temporary setup there that goes from below to a valve, and then that water fed the upper ground hydrants, and it fed out into the Rockefeller area for its irrigation. It's kind of low pressure, so if the irrigation's on, you don't get a lot of from the water boxes, and if the ground hydrants are being used, you don't get a lot in the irrigation. So it's kind of tricky. And my understanding is, well, since we are going towards shut-off time anyway, eventually that will be fixed.
So next spring or next summer, when the weather is warmer, do we expect to have that all fixed and working so that we have the water needed up above? And then will there also be water below?
To the best of my knowledge, but I'm not the contractor. I know there's some major work that has to be done installing a new RZP, and anytime something like that goes on, I can't speak for them.
Okay, so let's just leave that topic, and maybe that's something, Evie, that you can follow up and get back to us with an answer, and we can tell people about the water situation, because they will be asking that question.
Okay, yes, we can happy to do that.
Okay. Will, are there any members of the public that have their hands up with any questions?
Not yet. This is a good time to remind everybody that if you would like to participate and ask a question or make a comment, all you have to do is look at the bottom of your screen and find the reactions icon, open that up and press the raise hand button.
Okay, why don't we take a break for a second? And why don't we have Sheena, if her sound is working, Sheena make her announcement.
Hi, can everyone hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, great. Good evening, everyone. With regard to the pickleball at Carl Schultz Park, the commission is aware of the issue at Carl Schultz as well as other locations around the city, around Manhattan. Unfortunately, he's trying to get acclimated in his new position. Therefore, no decision has been made about pickleball at this present time. Probably by December, we should have some sort of an answer. If not, before December. I'll work on that. I'll keep Community Board 8 informed if I get any, information prior to November or December. I know there was the issue at John Jay regarding the dogs off leash. So I spoke to our inspector for the PEP unit, and he said they've been doing their rounds, twice a day during the daytime and then during the evening time. He's going to increase it, and he's going to get back to me with any results from that. But so far, when they've been going, things have been fine. So I asked him to increase it because I see, I hear that there's some, dogs off leash, throughout the day. And he's going to get back to me. So I'll let you know with any updates on that situation.
Okay,
I also had
Sheena, why don't you give the rest of your report? Let's let EDC finish and then you'll give the rest of your report.
Sure.
At the proper time. The only reason we wanted to mention the pickleball was in case there were any people signed on for the meeting who were here to discuss pickleball, that it will not be discussed, and we will put it on as an agenda item. So please follow our agenda to see when Parks has made a decision, and then we will have it on the agenda promptly. Okay, I think we're ready unless you have anything else to add. I think we're ready to have EDC present another part of the Esplanade from 94th to 107th, Bobby Wagner Way. And I think, is Catherine doing that presentation?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Catherine, before you start, would you please give me, I've been instructed by Steve to ask you to please give me a phone call tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Evie, you heard that too. Please remind me if I don't remember. Sure. Can do. And then I think I should be able to share my screen unless Will is gonna. No, it looks like I can. Okay. Let me know when you can see. Okay, I see a thumbs up. Thanks. So yeah, so hi. So my name is Catherine Probilski. I'm also on the East Midtown and Andrew Haswell Green team. And it was great to see some of you on Friday when we were able to unveil the sign for Andrew Haswell Green Park. But this project is a brand new-ish to us capital project that EDC is doing on behalf of the Parks Department. The Esplanade obviously is owned and maintained and managed by Parks. This project, Parks asked us to manage the design and construction for them. It is frequently, this is all East River Esplanade. A portion of it is kind of called Bobby Wagner Walk as well. And as Judy mentioned, this project is from 94th Street, which is just the very edge of your district. But we're happy to be here and provide updates. 94th Street to 107th. And then again, Esplanade from 117th to 124th Street, as well as reconstruction of the pier that's at 107th Street. I'm sure some of you folks have seen that pier there. So we are here today to tell you we are just getting started. We have essentially onboarded a design team, and we will be coming out to the community, to you guys and to your neighbors further north, to really start getting input over the next few months. The goal for the project for parks, it's based on regular assessments of the bulkhead. And so this will be a reconstruction of the esplanade and bulkhead and structure there using standard furnishings, plantings, and trees. That's the main goal. We will completely demolish, redesign, and rebuild the pier at 107th Street. The idea is also to bring the whole thing into a state of good repair, but honestly, it's really a generational investment in this section of the esplanade, as rebuilding a large portion of the esplanade. The idea is it'll be a strong, resilient structure. It'll incorporate knowledge from the park's East Harlem Resiliency Study. There'll be some evaluation and likely modest elevation for sea level rise, but just accounting for some of those inland drainage needs. And then there will be a public art component on the pier, and that'll be a selection process following the Cultural Affairs Percent for Art program. So it'll be a selection committee comprised of community members, parks, and cultural affairs to select that artist. As I mentioned, we have just onboarded the design team. They got started with us in Parks in August, and they have just started their site investigations. If you're further north on the Esplanade, you may see folks out there doing site survey, and then down the road, you'll see folks doing some subsurface geotechnical investigation, and we'll keep you guys posted on that. Over the next few weeks, we are looking forward to doing more explicit outreach to you and to the local community to start to get input on input from the park. So there'll be some instances where we'll come to existing events that are happening to just let folks know that this project is happening. There'll be some virtual events. There'll be online surveys. There'll just be a lot of information gathering over the next few months where we hear from you, hear from the community adjacent to this space in the city about what would be wanted here on the pier and the Esplanade. And the design team. So the design, like I said, was onboarded in August. EDC and Parks selected Stantec to lead the design team. They have a nice team behind them, including Marvel Architects and Melissa Johnson Associates, who will be leading the community outreach. We've worked with almost everyone on the team in various fashions. Stantec is close to you guys here for East Midtown. We visited CB8M a few weeks ago, and we're happy to be here to you guys to visit you guys today. And I just went through all the words and did not give you any of the slides. I apologize. So again, this project, here's the limits. It's 294 million, 284 in city capital, and there's 2 grants from the state. Like as I mentioned, the goals, you can see pictures of the existing Esplanade here. Again, we are using standard parks furnishings and materials and bring the Esplanade into a state of good repair. There are some sections that are closed, as you guys know as well. As I said, current status, we have just selected our design team and have gotten them onboarded, and they're doing site investigations. And that is it. So I went through all the words because there were only 3 slides. Judy, police, do you guys have any questions?
Yeah, curious, it starts from 94th to 96th, which is our part of our community board. So
Yep.
What specifically are you doing from 94th to 96th?
Well, from 94th to 107th, so inclusive of 94th to 96th, it'll be reconstruction of the Esplanade there. So Parks
Does that
does.
mean the bulkhead work if it's necessary?
Yep, it'll be a rebuilding of the Esplanade in that area. Yep. It'll obviously tie into the existing Esplanade that's there. But we rebuilt structurally. So as I mentioned, Parks and EDC do regular inspections of the waterfront structures up and down the East River and the other areas that the city owns and manages, and identifies, the condition of that underwater structure. This condition was slated with other locations to be rebuilt. There's another section further to the north, much out of your district, and other sections even further north that are also being rebuilt based on the condition. So this area here was allocated with that funding I mentioned to rebuild the Esplanade from 94th to 107th. There's another parks project that's currently rebuilding the Esplanade between 114th and 117th Street. And then this project will pick up at 117th to 124th Street. And at 124th Street, there is another project that is just finishing design this year. So that'll be a new park in the Esplanade going even further north. So this section of the Esplanade, some areas are already closed off and need help. So we really like to just note that this is really a generational investment. Like, we are rebuilding the Esplanade for a generation here. And that is really the primary goal and primary driver of costs on this project.
So you said there's a project now from 104th to 114th Street. Did I get those right?
No, actually, there's a section of Esplanade that's not in need of repair or rebuilding. So there's a gap in there, but Parks is rebuilding from, I believe, let me check my notes actually, 114th to 117th, which is a bit further ahead than our projects. I believe that project is already designed fully.
Felice, that's the section of the Esplanade that's been closed off I closed it off about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
The huge section where you can put a bus in the hole.
Yeah, that one. Yes. Thank you, Mark.
Going from 59th to 96, after this project, what portions of the Esplanade have not been rebuilt and will still need to be rebuilt?
I would need to, one, possibly pull up a map, but two, honestly, defer to my parks colleagues, because EDC doesn't manage all of parks projects on the east side.
That's something that we want to talk about tomorrow, because Felice, I didn't get a chance to tell you, I spoke to Steve tonight and he said, speak with Catherine tomorrow.
Okay.
I'll fill you in on it after the.
Okay, and I have another question. I know this is more of a maintenance issue, but just curious. As I was walking along the Esplanade the other evening, I noticed in the spot that was reconstructed right by Gracie Mansion, which a beautiful job, but some of the paver stones by the planters look kind of sunk in a little, and I was just wondering whether there was any settlement going on. It just seemed odd since it's a relatively new project, and it looked like a really terrific job had been done there.
I'd have to defer to Parks on that one. I don't work up there. I apologize.
Kusali, maybe that's something you can follow up on with your office, because I think that was built by Parks, that section.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll do that in the morning.
Okay, great. And when you get back to us, we can put it in the minutes.
Yeah, and I took some photos of it, so I can send you what I'm talking about.
Okay, do we have any other questions on this?
Lo has a question, has his hand up.
Yeah. Lo?
Yes. Can you hear me? I unmuted just now.
Yes.
Okay, great. My name is Lo Vanderwalk. I'm representing Carnegie Hill Neighbors. I wonder, I've walked the Esplanade in this area, especially in the warmer weather, summer days, and I noticed a lot of people are biking, and the bikes go very fast, and they do pose a potential danger for people who are walking or jogging even. So I wonder, in the design, is some accommodation being made for bikers, because they're going to be there? That is my question.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. The project wants to include all the users of the Esplanade and the city and parks, and please Kusili chime in. The city writ large and parks, knows that this is definitely a part of the Manhattan Waterfront Greenway and would be used by cyclists. Things that can be done to accommodate cyclists. There's a number of design interventions that the team will definitely look at to accommodate cyclists, but also to, as you mentioned, make sure that the pedestrians have the space, as well, have enough space to be there. The Esplanade is, as you know, it's used by lots of different folks at lots of different speeds, and we really want to make sure that all of those folks at all of those speeds, maybe not, obviously not very fast motorbike speeds, but folks that are walking, folks that are cycling with their kids, folks that are commuting to work, and folks that are just sitting. So there are design accommodations and things that the team will definitely take into account.
Yeah, okay, well, I know we can say these things, but in practice, if just like we could say in the old days, bikes are perfectly welcome on our streets, but we've learned that we need bike lanes, and we need, and we know on 3rd Avenue and now coming to the other avenues are separate areas for bikes to be present and to separate them from the rest of the traffic. And I think, if it was just a family with kids biking, it's not a problem. But there are people that are going very fast, and they're not just a few. There are many, and they dominate.
Let me ask Catherine a question. This new piece from 94th up to 107th, are you going to be doing what you did down below on the East Midtown Greenway
With the specific
and
separation.
Hassel Green, where you've separated the path for the bikers and the walkers?
So where I think, we haven't established a study of all the available widths that are there. So there are some places that are quite narrow. So I think like East Midtown below, and then where it combines into a shared path at Andrew Haswell and is a shared path further north, the project will very much look to best practices for both shared and separated paths where possible. I mean, we really just
That
need
would be
to
good.
establish the goals for the project in relation to that, and see where we have the width, and see, really make good design decisions with parks and, with input from our partners at DOT in regards to bicycle safety, and our designers that, can have very creative and engineering minds. And, we'll be coming back to you guys after we hear ideas. We'll be coming back to talk about how we are designing the project overall, inclusive of those safety measures.
Okay, that's
Right.
great. So,
Thank you.
Lo, I say to you, stay tuned. Please follow when this is on the agenda, and you'll get an answer to your question eventually.
Great. Thank you, Judy.
And hopefully, as you're thinking about the design, it'll be a separate bike path, because as someone who both likes to walk the Esplanade and is an avid bicyclist, the volume of each doesn't really accommodate a shared path.
Yeah, well, it really depends on the width that's available there, for sure.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, we want to thank all the people from EDC and from Parks who came tonight. Please stay if you would like for the rest of our meeting. We're happy to have you. And please share your presentation with Will so that we have it if you haven't already done it.
Yep, absolutely.
They're both on our website already, if anybody wants to look at it. And they're in the chat.
You're terrific, Will.
Mhm.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Judy. Good to see you.
Good to see
everybody.
all of you. Oh, and
Thank you.
we did mention briefly, but Friday was really very nice when we had, we should have had a picture tonight of Andrew Haswell Green Park, which is on the tramway trestle at 60th Street.
Ankita had a picture in the presentation. So when
Oh,
you
good.
guys look if you go look at the website, or sorry, the deck on the website, there's a picture.
Right, and
there,
it was
so, yeah.
on the EDC notice that we got this week, so that was great. And it was
Great.
really nice to see a sign up. I'd like to ask you, that wasn't on my list, but it reminds me that when you finish phase 2 down by the park, we would like to see an Andrew Haswell Green sign there. I know the Parks Department is no longer putting the circular names in the parks as they did years ago, if you go to our older parks, but we would like you to have some signage by the new.
Yeah, we talked about it on Friday, actually. You know, what the renderings don't show is the signage plan, so we can pull what the plan is from Andrew Haswell Green for where the signs should go. But then Mark, please jump into, I think adding a sign at that end is not too big of a lift. So we'll get back to you on that, I think.
Okay, that would really be, oh, terrific. There you go. There it is.
Unfortunately, we're
Judy-
all, oh, go ahead, Mark.
And Judy, we have gone through like 3 years of massively reorganizing how we sign parks with our new deputy commissioner and COO. So there will be signs down below, and there'll be the new standard ones.
Yes, but I am asking for
I know what you're asking for, Judy. I'm trying to be.
Andrew Haswell Green Park somewhere near the lawn, not one of those large green signs with all the things you can and can't do and a line through the dogs. And I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a sign that just says Andrew Haswell Green Park. I'm asking for something different here.
I will forward that up.
You can take that up the food chain, if you will.
It has to go way up the food chain, but I will do it for you, Judy.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you
Bye.
all for
Bye,
coming.
everybody.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Judy. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
And our next presenter is the new executive director, Jean Kim of Friends of the East River Esplanade. And we wanted to introduce her to everyone. And Jean, I think you want to say a few words.
Yes, I do. Thank you. I also sent you a presentation. But thank you, Judy, for having me. I've met many of you, Felice Farber, CB8 members. As Judy mentioned, I'm the new executive director. I joined in April, and as many of you know, we serve the neighborhoods of Upper East Side and East Harlem, covering 60th to 120th Street. Ever since I joined, it's been pretty much a whirlwind of event activities. And as a longtime East Side resident, I'm very passionate about the Esplanade and have a background in advocacy work. A core component of what we do. Do you have the presentation? Can I share it? Judy?
I don't
I
have.
can share it if
Oh,
you.
okay. You know, if you allow me sharing, I can.
You can. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, can I put it on here? Okay, let me put it on here then. Let me see. Hold on. Okay, here it is. It's just going through a calendar of our events, but there's pictures, so it makes it easier. Okay, wait, hold on a second. Okay, share. Okay, here it is.
While you're getting it set up, I'll just.
Oh, okay, here it is. Okay.
The music in ACOX Pavilion this summer was really quite lovely.
Yeah, you were at our jazz concert
Yes.
in mid-August. Yeah, and then the ones that we do on the Saturdays, especially on a beautiful day, has been attracting hundreds of kids and families. It's our live music event that we do with phenomenal bands, highlighting local vendors like Alamode Ice Cream. So, you know, we have a couple of them coming up, but I'm just going to quickly go through our chronology in order. This weekend, I've been working with Sheena on this. Saturday, October 15th, 11 a.m. at 100th Street, we have our 5th public art installation. We're very proud of it. We commissioned a local artist to make a 27-panel crochet mural of neighborhood images and El Barrio fishermen and waterfront flowers. It's really going to be a sight to see and to put on social media. So that's going to be in a big event. I'll send you the invite separately, but we're expecting possibly Borough President Mark Levine, our local council members and such. And then Sunday, the following day, we're doing our It's My Parks Day daffodil planting. This is the mural. And then we're doing It's My Parks Day daffodil planting day with Upper Green Side. So that's going to be at 11 a.m. at 96th Street. So we're expecting a lot of volunteers, and we're also working with the Green Park Gardeners to beautify. That's a yearly tradition that we do. And then we also do these fishing clinics that are very popular. And we have one coming up Tuesday, October 18th at 3:30 at 90th Street with the State Department of Environmental Conservation. They send guides, like you can see in the picture, and they teach students how to fish. So we're doing that with a local East Harlem tutorial program and Julie Menon's office. Another exciting event we have coming up is Tuesday, November 1st with Billion Oysters and Goodwill NYC. We've worked with both of them before, and Goodwill NYC has a program where they help adults with developmental disabilities. And we've worked with them before, giving a tour of the waterfront. Many of them have never even been to the waterfront before they went on the tour with us. And we're taking them now on a project with the Billion Oysters. So that's something everyone's looking forward to. A couple of events we have in progress are with the new opening of the Andrew Haswell Green Park. We want to do something special because there's a book, I'm sure many of you are very familiar with it, The Great Mistake. I think it came out last year or 2 years ago. The author, Jonathan Lee, is going to give a talk. So we're coordinating that. And then we're also planning a winter celebration, which means a sculpture celebration to have winter ornaments at the park to attract people there even during the winter months, because it's so beautiful in the summer. And now that there's a sign there, we also want people to come year round. And we're hoping that by getting these, I think they're winter ornament sculptures, that we can attract people to come year round. And the other thing I was gonna mention, because, we do work with the police precinct on issues of the homeless encampments, and we get all kinds of emails, is a lot of seniors have contacted us because there's motorized vehicles that are on the Esplanade. I was walking yesterday, I almost got run over by one. They're prohibited. Yeah, so this has been like a big issue. I don't know why they're there, but there's more and more of them that are like racing through there. And then we're developing a robust volunteer program. So that's pretty much it for right now.
Well, thank you. That's quite an undertaking, and thank you for the update. We appreciate it. And please stay in touch and let us know. And would you also send this presentation to Will, please?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Judy, and Felice and Will. Thank you.
Thanks, Jean.
Okay, Sheena, you're up for the rest of your report. And if Will got the photographs, maybe he can put some of those up with the report. I sent them your email.
Oh, honey locust. You can hear me?
Yes.
Hello? Oh, okay.
we
So
can
I
hear
sent the community board include some pictures of Andrew Haswell Green, Honey Locust Park. It's about 90% done. Just a few more things they have to address, but pretty much it's almost completed, and hopefully we can open it up prior to the due date. but it's looking good, and it'll be very exciting once this thing opens. A lot of seats, a lot of sitting area. That's for honey locust. And I just want to bring to your attention that about Rupert Park. So I've been getting some complaints about Rupert Park with the loud barking at nighttime during the evening time. So I have my staff monitoring this area for about 3 days to see if what is being said is true. So last night we did the first sound check for Rupert, and the barking is pretty loud. It was around 9:24 that the videotape was taking, and the noise is pretty loud. So I'm going to check a few extra days, and I'm going to work with Cameron to see if what we can do to resolve this problem, because the neighbors are getting very annoyed by the loud barking all night long. He says it's going up to about 11, 12 at night.
Is it dogs in the park? Or in the neighborhood?
Yeah, it's in the park. When we got there, when my workers got there last night, they were in the park. They were in the area that we designated for them. But the barking was extremely loud.
What time do you
this
close?
was,
Sheena, what time do you close that?
well, Rupert doesn't close until 10. So we got there, I had them go there earlier to see if the loud noise that the complainant was complaining about was true. So he did go there, the workers got there at 9:24 and he taped it and he sent it to me.
And Judy, there's been a
And,
long-term
the
problem.
noise was pretty loud.
There's been a long-term problem with the dogs at Rupert. A while back, we had these complaints and they seem to have gone away, but I guess with the weather change and people back in the city, it's gotten very bad again.
Well, I think we need to talk to the dog collective about this. I don't know if anyone is here tonight. I didn't see any names I recognized, but if they want to have this park built with the dog run, they're going to have to cooperate with the neighbors. You say it closes around 10. The fellow who closes the park, does he have any problem at 10 o'clock when he closes? Are they still there with their dogs? Does he have a problem getting them out, or what's the story? Or haven't you checked that?
No. So we don't have any problem with closing up Rupert at all. But I sent them there purposely for this reason prior to the closing hours, to see if the gentleman said this goes on all day and all evening, and he cannot sleep, and it's affecting his sleep. So he understands during the daytime it's fine because it's more out during the day. He just wants to be able to rest in the evening time, and the evening time the dogs are barking extremely loud, and it's going on to 11 to 12 at night. So I picked a time for my staff to go there to check to see if what he was saying was true. And I do have the video. I'll pass it on. Maybe once we get off this call, I'll send it to CB8, Will, and you, Ms. Judy. And then you can just hear the volume of the dogs barking. So I'm going to do a few days of this to see if this is an ongoing thing. And if so, then we need to speak about it, because we need to come up with some sort of resolution, because we don't want the neighbors being agitated and because they can't sleep during the evening time. So, we could come up with something, all of us, to accommodate everyone, to make sure everyone is happy.
If the park closes at 10, are they just in the neighborhood or on that close street? Do you have any sense?
I don't know. Because we have to lock up a whole sector, I chose that time. Other than that, I will have to pay my staff overtime to you. So I'll probably check this weekend myself after 10 to see if this is happening after 10. But I'm going to send them there at various times because I want to see if what's being stated is actually really happening on almost like a everyday basis. So I have to get a sense of it. After 10, I will probably be there to check this weekend myself, so I can see if this is truly happening. And you know, I don't want the guy to continue to write me and not try to help him with, you know, him trying to get some rest in the evening time. And he does understand that the dog wants to come to be built, but this is one of the problems that he was stating, that having the dog run at Rupert is going to be, being that he is a resident living over Rupert,
Okay, Felice,
adjacent to Rupert.
how about we, after Sheena gets back to us, after she's checked it out in another day or so, why don't we get in touch with Aliana at the Dog Collective and, you know, put them on notice? Because if it's going to be a problem for the neighborhood, then the Parks Department may decide to change their plans about putting in a dog run. Because the commissioner did say that at the time it was presented when we voted on it. So I think we need to give them a heads up as to what's going on.
Well, and I think it'd be better to understand whether it's one bad actor or a group of people.
Right. Okay, so Sheena, why don't you do your checking and you'll get back to us via phone and let us know, and then we'll try and talk to the dog people. Is there anything else?
Thank you, I appreciate that. I will send you, once we get off the call, I'll issue. No, nothing is out. So far, everything is seems to be all right. We're going into the fall season. Hopefully, things will be great.
Okay, well, thank you very much. And Mark, even though we don't see your face, it's nice to see you here. It's been a while.
I've been doing Teams. Been doing Teams, Judy, and for some reason I have my video on, but it decided that the glowing light of me is too much for it. I think I have to update my Zoom.
Okay, well,
Okay.
Thank you for coming.
No problem. It's always nice to be here.
Does anyone else have any old, new business that we should be talking about tonight?
Sheena, I just wanted to follow up with you on the question I asked EDC before. I don't know if you've noticed along the Esplanade up by just north of Gracie Mansion, where those steps are, I guess it's around 90th Street. I noticed that the pavers were by the tree pits were kind of sinking in a little. And I was just wondering, you know, if there was some settlement or some other issue going on there.
I think Sheena left. She has to.
I can look into it.
There she is. Sorry, Sheena.
No, I'm here.
Okay. Go ahead.
I'm here. No, I didn't leave. I'll look into it. Okay, I'll have my my level 2 look into it and get back to me.
Okay.
I didn't see anything in our work order log. Okay.
Okay, I'll send you some pictures from when I took a walk there the other evening.
That would be good. And Sheena,
Okay,
if you do find something, Kusali, our parks person, who's with design, as I understand it, I'm sure that has at least a 2-year warranty on that area. It wasn't, I don't think it's finished a year yet, is it? My timing may be off, but it certainly isn't 2 years. So if they haven't done something right, we really need to tell them, and they need to come back and fix it.
Well, if we do find something, I'll send it to our capital team. I don't know how long that's not, how far back this was completed. So I will send it to our capital team and they'll let me know if it's still under contract. Okay.
Yeah, I think
well,
I'm
sure they have, you know, files on this, and I'll.
Yeah, I think COVID changed our perception of time and when things took place.
Yeah, I think unfortunately, I think it has been more than 2
Okay,
years.
I'll have him look into it.
And Kusali's gonna look into it tomorrow, and she'll have the capital information. If Lori takes the pictures and sends them to Sheena and me, we can take a look at it. And I'm up around Gracie at minimum of once a week, so I'll go back there and take a look also.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Hi there. Sorry, I was sending a message to Will that if you would please share the photo, and I'll bring it to our construction team. They'll have a record of when that's finished and all that.
Okay, well, Felice, why don't you send them to Will as well as to Sheena?
Yep, I will do that.
Okay, thank you, Kusali.
Thank you.
And
Anything else? Does anyone have anything else for tonight? Okay, well, shall we move to adjourn?
yes, absolutely.
Okay, thank you all for coming, and
Thanks,
we'll
Judy.
see you next month.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Please, I'll call you on the phone.